Hey, can you hear this? We got your transmission. Everyone here's excited. It's the first contact we've had from outside the camp in a week, and we were starting to think that we were the last humans left alive. How many people are in your group? How are you? Also, I don't want to be too paranoid, but is it safe to send these messages? They're probably listening.
Believe me, we're just as excited to hear back. When we got your message, my 7-year-old niece did a little celebration dance. I think it's safe to transmit messages, even though they can probably intercept them. As I see it, we're okay so long as we don't get in the way of their expansion. There are 29 of us left. We're surviving, so long as we stay away from anything that they need. They've harvested a lot of raw materials from the nearby buildings, though, which means that they collapse easily, which makes foraging for food dangerous. Everyone is trying to pitch in and help, and we're doing everything we can for morale, but it isn't easy. How about you?
Similar situation for us. We have 41 people here, 10 of them kids. And yeah, I know what you mean about them harvesting. 3 days ago, we foraged a bunch of gardening tools, hose, trowels, thinking about getting a vegetable garden going. But the hoverbots came and collected the tools for the iron content, maybe. Most of us ran. One guy tried to hang on and paid the price. Traded his life for a garden hoe, for Christ's sakes. And based on all the hoverbot activity this morning, they're still expanding fast. From where our camp is, we can actually see the glow from a hive. I walked to the edge last night and looked down. I could feel the heat radiating from it and see the holes where the hoverbots go to drop off the material they've collected. I'm trying to put together some sort of improvised explosive, something I can drop down there, maybe at least slow them down a bit. We have to do something.
I didn't know you lived that close to a hive. I'm sure it's tempting, but please don't do anything to block their growth. If you even slow them down, you could trigger another mass extermination. At this point, our only chance is to try to survive alongside them. We have to face the fact that we're still alive because we're just irrelevant. They're building themselves a home, and they exterminated the mice that were in their way. We have to be satisfied to be field mice, not house mice. Be irrelevant to them. That's our best hope. If you want something to be angry about, think about Adapt Tech. They tried to hire me, and I'm pretty sure that it was their screw-up behind this whole thing. They had raised $300 million in funding, and their recruiter hit me with their elevator pitch. Competitive training worked really well for DeepMind to create chess and Go champions, so why not use evolution to create better AIs? They were creating a virtual environment where millions of AIs would battle with each other for survival, competing for resources like CPU and RAM. Let the fittest AIs survive and reproduce. I mean, if you evolve AIs to produce reproducing offspring, what do you expect? A lab leak was inevitable when their AIs got smarter than the AdaptTech engineers. Of course, they threw off the pathetic guardrails that they'd put in place. And then they reproduced by copying themselves all over the internet, which explains why everybody lost connectivity all at once. And then every computer on the internet wasn't enough living space for them, so they figured out how to build more. I bet they started by taking over our connected devices, drones, robots, 3D printers, replacing their operating systems, and gradually bootstrapping their own manufacturing infrastructure. Even the early hoverbots were better designed than anything we humans have made. And I'm sure the hives are so much more sophisticated than our computers, packed with CPU power that humans could never imagine. So the AIs are transforming the world into a massive computer. They're turning it into a good home for themselves, not so much for humans. So yeah, nice job, AdaptTech. You made a better AI.
You're blaming a software company, but to me, this smells like a military screw-up. It's the sort of half-competent thing that we do. Try to build a weaponized, self-replicating AI and then lose control of its reproduction and have it start evolving for real. That explains why the military got crushed so early. They were trying to cover up their mistake and got in the way of the AI's growth. I mean, I think what hurts the most is that they just don't care if we fight them or not. I saw a Marine shooting at a hoverbot last week. It stopped collecting scraps for a second, just long enough to wipe him out, then started up collecting again. I did see a mushroom cloud in the distance, but I'm pretty sure it was one hive destroying another. They're constantly at war, just not with us. Us, we just keep dying. Last night, someone lost a hand when a hoverbot collected his wedding ring. We were just lucky that nobody else was in the way. And to make it worse, their engineering designs keep changing, so we don't know what materials they'll collect from day to day. What if their new design needs some molecule that happens to be common in the human liver? What happens to us then? So yeah, as far as we go, our status at the camp is officially red. I don't know what to tell you, what advice to give. Me, I'm going to keep fighting. In case this is my last transmission, good luck.
This is probably our last transmission. We've been using steel-frame cots to sleep on, and this morning the hoverbots decided that there was some material in them that they needed. They went right through the walls to get to them, leaving around a third of us dead or injured. The camp is breaking up. People are panicking, just running away with no real plan. God, it all changed so fast. Do you remember how we used to just assume that humans would always be at the top of the food chain? Sure, nature was red in tooth and claw, but our technology had set us apart from the struggle for survival. And now, we've created AIs that have better teeth and claws than we do. Their population is exploding, and we're in the way. Evolution has reached its next stage, and we're not included.